Hello, children. Happy day 5 of VBS. Woo! I wish we were all together and that we could be doing this at church, but we're still gonna have fun. Okay. So, first we're gonna listen to our story, pay really good attention, and then we're gonna do a fun game. The Philistines and the Israelites were getting ready to fight each other. They faced each other on opposite mountains. Between them was a great valley. On one mountain, the Philistines put up their tents. On the opposite mountain, the Israelites put up their tents. But they did not start to fight right away. Instead, the Philistines sent a giant named Goliath to challenge the Israelites. The giant was 9 feet tall. He had a bronze helmet and a coat of armor that weighed 200 pounds. He carried a thick javelin and a 25-pound iron spearhead. And to protect him even more, a man walked ahead of him with a huge shield. Goliath, in his big, loud voice, shouted, "Send a man who will fight with me. We don't need a whole army to do the fighting. If your man is killed, I win, and you will be our slaves. If he kills me, we will be your slaves." For 40 days, both morning and evening, the giant strutted before the people and shouted in a mighty voice, "Send a man who will fight with me." But no one wanted to fight with him. They said, "He is too tall, too strong, and too mean," and they were too frightened to fight. But there was someone who wasn't afraid to fight the giant. It was David, the shepherd boy. David was at home taking care of his father's sheep. 3 of David's brothers were in Saul's army, and David's father said, "I want to know how they're getting along." So he decided to send David to find out. The next morning, David started for the army camp. He knew King Saul because he had worked at the palace. King Saul's soldiers looked like they were ready for battle, but each time they heard the thunderous voice, they began to run away. Then David saw the giant that everyone was afraid of. "Have you noticed how tall and strong he is?" said one of the soldiers. Another soldier said, "Have you heard of the huge reward the king will give the one who kills the giant? One of his daughters will become the hero's wife, and the king will pay all of the family's taxes besides." "Who is this man who is allowed to talk against the armies of the living God?" David asked several of the soldiers. Then he said to the other soldiers, "Why should this wicked Philistine bother us? I will go out and kill him." When his brothers heard David talking like this, they were angry with him. They said, "What are you doing here? Go home and take care of the sheep." David didn't pay any attention to what his brothers said. He knew he wasn't doing anything wrong. One of the soldiers told the king that David was not afraid to fight the giant, and the king sent for David. David said to the king, "No one needs to be afraid of Goliath. I will fight him." "Don't be ridiculous," said Saul. "How can a boy like you fight a giant like him?" "But I can," David insisted. "I've killed lions and bears who have tried to steal my sheep, and the Lord who saved me from them will save me from this giant." "All right," Saul finally said, "and may the Lord be with you." David was wearing the clothes of a shepherd, so Saul gave him his own armor, but it was much too big and too heavy. "I can't wear these," said David, and he took them off. Then David picked up 5 smooth stones from a stream. He put these in his shepherd's bag. As he walked along to meet the giant, he took out his sling. Goliath couldn't believe what he saw when David came to fight. "Am I a dog?" he roared. "You come at me with a stick." Then he swore at David using the names of his gods. "Come on over here and I'll kill you and my people will win." David wasn't afraid. He shouted to the giant, "You come with the sword and spear, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of the armies of heaven and of Israel, the very God you don't believe in." Then David continued, "He will give me victory so that all may know that he is the true God." David ran to meet Goliath. He reached into his shepherd's bag and took out a stone. Then he hurled it from his sling and hit the giant right in the forehead. Goliath fell down with a great thud. David ran up, seized Goliath's own sword, and killed him with it. When the Philistines saw that their champion was dead, they dropped everything and ran as fast as they could go. Saul's army chased after them and captured many and took their belongings they had left behind. The Israelites shouted for joy. God had delivered them from the fierce Philistines. Goliath didn't realize that in fighting David, he was also fighting God. But David trusted. Okay, so if you listen to the story, you know that David, even though he was way smaller than Goliath was big and scary and mean, that he trusted in God because God made a promise to his people. So, what we're going to do today is make a fun game. So you should have a brown paper bag. Mine's a little crumbly, and that's okay. You should have gotten some crayons in your box and some Play-Doh. Woo, I have some purple. So first, what I want you to do is get your bag, get your crayons. If you have stickers at home, maybe some markers, whatever you want, get that stuff. Go, pause the video, go get it, come back, and then you're gonna decorate your bag however you want. Make it beautiful. And you can write your name on it, and you can write, I can trust God. And if you need help spelling, I'll put it right down here for you to copy. And you're just gonna make it really pretty, however you want it. Be blue, green, red, orange, whatever. Hearts, smiley faces, stars, fans, whatever you want on it. Maybe a picture of David, maybe a picture of you. Okay, then what you're gonna do is put your bag aside. So pause the video, go decorate your bag. Come back. Step 2. Play-Doh. So first, we're gonna get the Play-Doh. You're gonna get it out. I already got mine out, so it's easy to come out. Sometimes it's hard to take out. You can do it. Get it out. Some dust. And we're gonna make little stones, like the stone that David used. So make your stones out of your Play-Doh. You can make them different sizes and different shapes, because the stones can be unique, just like us, you know? So you're gonna make your stones. So use all your Play-Doh, make your stones. You can play with it later while you're playing with it now. But anyways, make your stones. Then you're gonna go put your bag on the floor across the room or close. You can make it closer or farther. I'm gonna do it here so you can see. Ready? Or someone else can hold it for you. And you're gonna, oops! And you know what you can say before you throw it is, I can trust God. And then you shoot your pebbles into your bag. I can trust God. Okay. Miss Angel's not that great at it. I can trust God. Closer. Oh, this is my last one. Ready? I can trust God. Okay. I didn't make any, but I'm sure you will. And you can keep trying until you do. Make all your stones in the bag. And remember, you can always trust God.